Welcome to Flea Market Stories, documenting one man's journey into the world of flea marketing. Now, this is going to be done for last weekend. I went there Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, I don't really remember anything notable, so we'll stick to Sunday. I will say Saturday was not a great day. I think I made only $35. It was a slow day. It was part of Memorial Weekend. Sunday was a different story. I sold quite a bit, especially in the time period between 11 and 1:30, 2 o'clock. It was a constant just rush. I was selling things I normally wouldn't sell. There's one thing that was round. I didn't even know what you called it. And this woman came by and she looked at it and she wanted it to hang up at her house. And then I told her about, the pricing, and I said, listen, on the back, the retail price is $25. I want 5. And she said she was perfectly fine with the price. It's a nice change of pace. No haggling, just someone perfectly fine with the price. So whatever it was, she loved it. And that was the theme of this day. One of my best sales days, not the best, but I would say the second best sales day I've ever had. Now, there's two notable things that happened on this day. Two notable things. There was this one guy, and I said I would take his car radio and test his car radio out. But for some reason, I think you need an antenna to turn this radio on. Because I tried the old trick of cutting an AC adapter and plugging it into the wall, and then combining the power and the remote lead, not the remote, but the power and the accessory, and then the ground, and hooking that up to see if it comes on, but it did not come on. So I told him, it probably still works, but I couldn't test it out. What I did do was I cleaned it up a little bit further for him, so at least it's clean. And he tells people, hey, if it doesn't work, just bring it right back. I'm here every Sunday. That's what he says. But talking about that guy, I walked by and I saw that he had a triple stack, like an old school triple stack. Not RCA. It was Sony, a mixture of JVC and Sony. So JVC and Sony, good stuff. It was a 5-disc CD changer. It was a double cassette deck, and on top of it was a tuner. And he said he sold them all as a stack, right? And maybe that's why he wasn't selling them, because, they would actually have to take the other two. I'm not sure what he was selling the stack for. To regular people. That wasn't his buddy. But I got the buddy discount, meaning $20. $20 for a tuner, home stereo tuner, which was it was a Sony, I believe. It might have been JVC. Like I said, it's a mixture of Sony and JVC. And the other two, which was a 5-disc and then a double cassette. Now, I didn't have any cassettes to test out. I didn't have any CDs on me to test out. But I plugged these 3 in after I bought this stack. And I tested them all, and they all work. Now, there was no speakers with this, but, all 3 of them came on. Okay, so here's what I was doing for a little while at my table. I was cleaning these off with spray away glass cleaner, and I had no intention of reselling these things because I was like, hey, these are pretty cool. I'm going to, test these out, maybe set me up something in one of the rooms of the house. Okay. But after I got them cleaned, so there's people coming by noticing I was cleaning these things. And a couple people left some comments. This one guy on the spray away glass cleaner. And he told me, you should be selling this. This is taking off all the dust, just instantly. It was taking off all the dust. And spray away glass cleaner is a great item. I just don't, want to set up a booth selling spray away glass cleaner because somebody would call me out saying, hey, I know where you got that. It's less expensive where you got that, so I'm not going to do that. What was interesting was there was a couple Mexican dudes that came by, and they couldn't be more excited about it. They thought I was selling this stuff even though I was cleaning it. I wasn't even done cleaning this stuff. It was plugged in, and they pointed and they said, how much? How much? And I was thinking, we got a situation because, 2 tables over is this one guy who just sold me this stuff. But he actually wasn't at his table at that moment. So I just said 20, 25. Because I just got this stuff. And I'm like, okay. $25. Situation, I wasn't trying to sell the stuff. But here's the thing, he didn't need, it was two of them, two guys. They did not need anything but the tuner. I plugged in the tuner. They saw that it worked. They didn't need the double cassette. They didn't need the CD changer, but all of it worked. So they literally they could have had all of it for $25, but they took the tuner. That's all they needed, right? So I still have the 5 CD and I still have the double cassette deck. Now, there wasn't such a rush to get this. They forgot the little antenna thing that plugs into the back. Also, there was a HDMI cable that plugged into the back. They don't have that. So I have an antenna tuner and an extra HDMI cable. And it's good. HDMI cable's like, what, $5, right? It wasn't one of the monster ones, but it was a standard. So I'm always needing an extra HDMI cable, right? So that's a good pickup for me. I made $5 and I got an HDMI cable and the other two in the stack. Now, though, I need to find me a tuner for the stack. I guess I could put it up with my RCA tuner, but that would just be like, it's a giant freaking stack. Okay. The other thing that happened on this day was something that I shouldn't find it surprising, but it did surprise me. I basically sold all the black buckets that I brought, and I brought a lot of black buckets. People loved the black buckets. Not only do they buy one bucket, not 2 buckets, but they buy buckets in bulk. And I wanted to stop and ask people. I asked this one person, and you might have heard that audio. I might work it in right here, maybe not. You might have heard that audio at the beginning of this, or at the end of it. So I'm not sure where I'll put this. I'm talking to a guy, and he tells me his use for the buckets. I'm not going to ask people like what they're going to use them for. I'm selling them as buckets. But I actually could sell these things. They're versatile as waste baskets. I was selling the buckets for $1 each. But as in sales, if you notice that you're selling something incredibly well, maybe that means you could adjust the price. Because I'm doing this next weekend. And I'll go into that a little further. I'm doing this next weekend where I'm actually going to lower the price of some things like my comics, maybe some magazines, because they're not selling. But the opposite is also true. If you're selling something at an amazing click, you can actually raise the price a little bit of that item. You know, just kind of testing the market for things like black buckets. Like I said, you know, I get these black buckets and planters that were just going to be thrown away. But I get these before they're thrown away. So these things are pure profit. And, yeah. So what do you think? Should I continue selling these as buckets, or do you think I would make more selling them as waste baskets and possibly adding a trash bag, like a little bag on each one? They are black buckets. Do you think maybe a white bag or a black bag? These are the things you think about when you are a salesman, when you are a flea marketer. These are the things you sit down and agonize over for a couple minutes at a time.